Let's start with a quick prayer to the Guru. Today's classes are, I have taken a lot from the ISKCON Chennai Gurus Amarendra Prabhu and Sukirti Mataji and the ISKCON Mangalore Namanishta Prabhu. And I would like to remember all my Gurus who have made me whatever I am today, which I am sharing with you. Let's pray. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिने इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। Say together everyone, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so last class we were doing the story of birth of Krishna. And we did not finish. I think we finished till how Vasudeva took his 8th son to Gokul and how he came back in the prison cell, you remember? And after that, we just have just 2 more little bit is left when after he takes back that Maya Devi to the prison cell and what happens after that. I think somewhere there we were. So let me share that file. We'll finish the story of birth of Krishna and then we'll start. Maybe we'll revise chapter 5 before going to chapter 6. So some of you were absent for chapter 5, I think. So yes, somebody has raised your hand. Yes, Ritika.
Ma'am, yesterday I watched the full story of birth of Krishna, and it was like the baby girl was the Durga Mata, and then she gave some knowledge to Kamsa, and then she disappeared.
Yes. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfectly right. So Durga Devi is also like Maya Devi. So these the Devis are representative of Maya. So let's read from back in the prison cell. Would you like to read?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Back in the prison cell, Vasudeva walked all the way back and reached the prison cell. The doors, which were open till now, locked one by one as he walked on. Devki was anxiously waiting for him. She took the baby girl fondly in her arms and laid her gently down. Suddenly, both Vasudeva and Devki found themselves in chain again. The infant cried loudly. The guards woke up from sleep, as if from a dream. They ran to Kamsa to give him the news. Kamsa was awake. In fact, he had not been able to sleep properly for the past many days. Day and night, he was thinking of his enemy, Lord Vishnu, who would be born any day. The fact is that even though in the form of an enemy, Kamsa was meditating on Vishnu non-stop.
You can read 2 more paragraphs and then Arya, you can take over.
When the guards told Kamsa...
Okay, after Arya, Misha. Then Anushka.
When the guards told Kamsa that Devki had delivered a baby, he ran to the prison. He was shocked to see that the newborn was a girl. Still, he decided to kill the baby. Who knows, thought he. This also may be one of the illusions created by Narayana. Devki tried her best to convince Kamsa. With tears flowing down her cheeks, she told her cousin, "See, brother, this is not a male child. What do you want to kill this innocent? Why do you want to kill this innocent girl? You have done unto death 6 sons of mine. Please have some mercy on me and spare this infant."
So 1 minute before Arya takes over. Thanks, Ritika. We have seen how Kamsa's cousin sister was getting married, right? All of you remember, and he was taking her in a chariot back to her, after she gets married, she's going to Vasudeva's kingdom and Vasudeva's palace. So the brother is driving the girl after marriage to her new house. And on the way, they hear the sound, and it says that the 8th son of this girl whom you're carrying in your chariot is going to kill you. Kamsa becomes so scared, he tries to kill, behead Devaki, but Vasudeva, he pleads And he says, I'll give you all my children. And then we see how Kamsa in the beginning, he says, okay, first child, you can take him back. But Narada comes and says, why are you saving this child? You don't know what, maybe any child, they're going to all grow up, and then the eighth child will have so many big brothers and be more difficult for you to kill. So kill all the children. And then he starts killing all. So those six children were actually just cursed, some heavenly beings they were cursed to be born on earth, and so they were happy that they are going to just finish off that curse and go back. So for them it was fine. But for Devaki and Vasudeva, it was very painful. All their children were being killed. And at last, when the eighth child was born, it was Krishna himself, it was God. He appeared and he gave them so many advice. Vasudeva carries the newborn Krishna, who again becomes like a small baby after giving advice. He takes Krishna and drops at Yashoda's place and carries the baby girl, who is actually Maya Devi, or like Kritika said, Durga Devi, and brings her back here. And Devaki also, I'm not sure, is aware. Yeah, Devaki is aware of it, correct. And what happens after that? Kamsa comes, he sees a baby is born, and he's trying to kill her. And Devaki says, why are you killing a girl? Okay, so let's see what happens after that. Arya, continue reading.
Ma'am, it's the same paragraph.
Devaki tried her best to actually, I think this paragraph is repeated twice. But Kamsa was determined. Although Devaki was saying, don't kill, it's just a girl child, Kamsa was determined to kill.
Okay. But Kansa was determined. He snatched the baby away from Devaki, holding the infant's tiny legs. He was about to smash her to death,
Sorry.
her to death, when suddenly she slipped out of his grip and soared high in the sky. Then she took her original form. Looking upwards, Kamsa saw the glittering form of a goddess, wearing gold crown, dressed in silken robes and jewels and of gold and gems, and carrying shining weapons in her 8 hands.
Right. So here there's a picture of that, how she appears with her 8 hands, and suddenly he is so shocked. See, Krishna, actually it's Krishna's, he becomes Krishna's sister, Yoga Maya, right? Because born from the same parents. So foiling Kamsa's attempts to kill her, enters the sky and informs the demon that Krishna, who will kill him, has already been born. So that's what the Devi comes and advises him and tells him that, wow, already Krishna is born. The person who is destined to kill you is already born. Okay, Arya, you can read about 3 more paragraphs.
She addressed Kamsa thus: Hey Kamsa, though the intention of killing me, you clasped my legs. For this reason, I am forgiving you. Further, know that your killer is already born on earth. In an instant, he realized how grievous his sins were. He rushed with Vasudeva and Devaki and sought their forgiveness. He told them what a sinner I have been, scared of death myself. I killed themselves. Who doesn't die who is born on this earth? Even the sages give up their bodies in the end. Why was I so scared of death? Oh Devaki, do not grieve for your death, the death of your sons. They have already reached heaven. Just think that they were destined to die young. Actually, this was not done by me, because all of these destined plan, even unwillingly. People misunderstand that with the end of the body, the self dies, or they think that one can kill another living entity. All these misconceptions oblige one to accept the conditions of material existence. In other words, as long as one is not firmly convinced of the eternality of the soul, one is subjected of the tribulation of being killer and killed. My dear sister Devaki and brother-in-law Vasudeva, kindly kindly excuse the atrocities I have committed against you.
Yeah.
I'm very poor hearted and you are so great hearted. So take compassion upon me and excuse me. In this way, Kamsa tried to console Vasudeva and Devaki, and thereby himself. He then ordered his guards to release them and take them with all honor to Vasudeva's mansion. When Devaki saw her brother so repentant, she also became pacified and forgot all his atrocious activities against her children. Vasudeva, also forgetting all past incidents, spoke smilingly with his brother-in-law. Vasudeva told Kamsa, my dear fortunate brother-in-law,
One
what are
minute,
you
Arya.
trying?
Let me just explain here a little bit. So, what happens here? You can see how Kamsa also, even the most evil people, they actually know a lot of, they have a lot of knowledge, but still, because they are prey to their desires, they allow their senses to go after the sense objects. They don't have control. So they go and do wrong things, and you can see here Kamsa is even regretting. He's so repentant that I did such a lot of sins. I became afraid of death. Someone who knows that I am not this body, I am actually the soul, will not do such things because death comes to everyone. So for a moment, he realizes the truth and he speaks good, very knowledgeable words. But still, he is a demon and he's unable to control his senses, and so he continues doing wrong. We will see afterwards. Although having such a nice mind, by the end of this chapter, you will see how he again goes back to his evil ways. Okay, so here we are seeing how actually Kamsa also has a lot of good knowledge and he does understand that he has done the wrong things. Like how Dhritarashtra also knew that his sons were actually in the wrong. He knew it. It's not that he doesn't know. In his heart, he knows. Okay, continue there, Arya. Complete the next the italicized words, and then Nisha, you can read after that.
Every living entity is born ignorant, misunderstanding this material body to be his self. This conception of life is due to ignorance, and on the basis of this ignorance, we create enmity or friendship. Lamentation, jubilation, fearfulness, envy, greed, illusion, and madness are different features of our material concept of life. A person influenced like this engages in enmity only due to the material body. Being engaged in such activities, we forget our eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So all these things
Vasudeva,
Vasudeva told Kamsa.
Vasudeva took the opportunity of Kamsa's benevolence and informed him that his atheistic activities were also due to his misconception of life, namely taking the material body to be the self. When Vasudeva talked with Kamsa in such an illuminating way, Kamsa became very pleased and his guilt for killing his nephews subsided.
So that is the beauty of good people, they are able to forgive. Imagine someone who has killed all your children. Even that person he is able to forgive. So great their minds become. All right. So Misha, can you read the last sentence and also the first few paragraphs of chapter 8?
Okay, ma'am. After that, Kamsa also went back to the place with the relieved mind. Captured the minister's evil counsel.
So Kamsa's ministers are going to give him an evil counsel. Counsel means advice. Okay. Misha, you can read about it.
Soon it was morning. Kamsa reached the assembly hall and took his minister the events that occurred the previous night. Then he said, from the time I heard the as hurry, I have taken all
Precautions. From the time I heard, Nisha, from the time I heard the Ashariri, without body, there was a sound which came from the sky. From then, I have taken all precautions. I killed all the children. Still, I have been a total failure, he's saying. Okay, continue, Nisha.
I know that my killer is already born on land, yet I have been unable to locate him, let alone do any harm to him. What is the use of my living now? To the grieving Kamsa, this minister spoke encouraging words. Uh, who are you afraid of, O king? Lord Burma is forever engaged in the work of creation, or he is meditating. Lord Shiva, scared of us, has run away to faraway Mount Candless and spending his days in this. there is a company of his spouse Pravati. Lord Vishnu is hanging in the ocean of milk till he may lay the stick on us. It is well known that the powder of Vishnu lies in the devotees and good deeds done by them. We shall kill the rishis and the brahmanes and also the cows which give them the material needed for the pujas. The and heavens they perform in this way if we destroy the
Fires.
and prevent all good deeds from being done. Vishnu will become powerless. O king, since such work as different officers, let them take the men they need the fan out in all parts of the kingdom and start the work. There is one more thing to consider. Devaki's daughter, who escaped your grip and rose in the sky, has said that the killer is already born. If you get all the newborn babies killed, then there is nothing to fear.
Very good. Thank you, Nisha. So here we can see the power of association. The kind of people you keep around you, they will have an influence on you. So children, be very careful of the friends you choose, with whom you talk. Suppose you all the time sit with some friends who are always complaining and always talking about problems and saying bad about the school in which you are studying, then you will also be influenced. But if you are with someone who is very active, proactive, finding solutions, doing the best for the school, that will also affect your nature. So choose your friends very carefully. Understand that they will have an influence on you. You also have an influence on others. So when you hear someone all the time complaining, grumbling, or doing something, or gossiping, you can also be the person to bring about a change, right? So there are two things you can remember. Association. So Kamsa actually had felt very repentant and all that, but as soon as he went back to his palace, what happened? His ministers told him, see the two things they said. One is that it's very stupid of them to think that Vishnu, the Lord of the universe, gets power because of rishis and Brahmins doing pujas, which has no meaning actually, They just think that the God is becoming powerful because everyone is doing puja. Even Hiranyakashipu thought like that. He thought if he stops everyone from doing puja and if everyone does puja to me, I will become powerful and then God will become powerless. So, this is a kind of darkness which is called, that is ignorance of mind, which takes over demons. They do not see the knowledge, that God is all powerful. They can't even see that. So they think that if they start, not allowing rishis to do pujas, they kill all the cows and they will not get any material to do the puja, then God will become powerless. So they start destroying all the pujas and cows. They start killing the cows, and those are all the destructive things which will cause downfall anyway. So they start their own downfall. They start doing actions which will lead to their own downfall. Also, one very horrible thing they do is that because Devaki's daughter, when Durga Devi or Maya Devi comes and says that your killer is already born, so Kamsa's ministers are saying, go kill all the newborn babies. Then, even whoever who is born to kill you will also be killed, right? So Anushka, you can continue reading from if you get all the newborn babies killed from here. Anushka?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, just read from here. If you get all the newborn, so Kamsa's ministers are advising Kamsa. If you get
all the newborn babies killed, then there is nothing to fear. You can assign this task or to another set of officers. Do not worry.
We are always with you and will always give you such valuable counsel. Kamsa regained his courage. He congratulated and thanked his ministers without wasting time. He made all arrangements as per the advice they gave him. Ashvisas, who would who could change their forms at will, spread out in different areas and engage themselves in all sorts of heinous crimes.
Heinous
The
crime.
more
Yeah, you can just read. Otherwise, if you want, I can read this last bit. You want to continue reading? We'll stop at chapter 8 because the birth of Krishna is over. Then actually what happens is we have all the different demons coming and how Krishna easily kills all of them. Or maybe we can read ecstasy at Gokul. So you finish this chapter 8 and chapter 9 I shall read. Okay, and then we'll go back to the Gita. So you read this italicized also, Anushka?
the adherence of Kamsa upon these
Followers.
by mode of faction, Rajendra, as well as made by the ignorant. Their only business was to create enmity with talented persons. Such activities can only reduce one's duration of life. The demon accelerated the process and invited their death as soon as possible. The result of persuading talented persons is not only ultimately death, the act is so offensive that predator also gradually lose his beauty, his fame, and his religious principles, and thus promotion to the higher planets itself. And often at the lotus feet of the devotees and Brahmins is great offering than that. Committed at the lotus feet of the Supreme God, personality of Godhead, a civilization that commits such sinful activities generally loses all faith in the Supreme God, and such a godless civilization becomes the source of all calamities in human society.
Okay, thank you, Anushka. Thank you, Anushka. So, what you have read is the demons, by doing all these evil deeds, are basically, making their own lives short. They are inviting destruction to themselves, right? So here we have from Prabhupada's book, thus being advised by the demoniac ministers, Kamsa, who was from the very beginning the greatest rascal, decided to follow the advice of his ministers. So for many years, what did Kamsa do? He accumulated his sins. He would send different demons to kill Krishna. And Krishna being the supreme lord, actually Krishna is God. So he would easily kill them all. Krishna defeating the demons sent by Kamsa, as well as many of the Krishna's other transcendental pastimes are there in these books, which are life and deeds of Krishna and Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead. So I'll quickly show you how happy, how much of happiness there was at Gokul, because they thought that Krishna is born to Yashoda, whereas actually Vasudeva had brought Krishna to Yashoda. Early in the morning, news of the birth of baby Krishna to Yashoda spread like wildfire in Gokul. People were beyond themselves with joy. They thronged Nandagopal's house carrying various gifts for the newborn. Remember when Brahma and others had gone to tell Vishnu, please, do something. Vishnu asks all the different apsaras and all the different divine people to be born on earth. So actually the whole in Gokul, all those people are actually, they are different spiritual beings who are born. So they are already in complete devotion to Krishna. And so although they're not aware in this birth that they are actually heavenly beings, they are all, mostly Krishna's associates in Goloka. So celebrations began in full swing. Auspicious bath is over. Everyone, they're wearing new clothes. Pandits are chanting prayers. When the newborn, and that too to the head of the chieftain. Nandagopal was the head or the chieftain of the Yadava clan, right? So then there was so much of celebration. Pandits in groups, they chanted Vedas, song and dance was happening. Nanda, he gave so many gifts. Children were decked up, running here and there, and so happy about the newborn baby. Nobody who saw Nanda's little son wanted to leave because, Krishna was so beautiful. Everybody would come and see him and they didn't want to leave. They would get attracted to him like iron to magnet, and the whole Gokul was immersed in ecstasy. selling milk and milk products was a profession of the people of Gokul. As a chieftain, Nanda was responsible for all the cattle wealth. And as the place was under Kamsa's rule, now, so this place was also in Kamsa's rule, so Nanda had to go and make payments to his treasury. Thus, even though he did not feel like going, it was time for him to go and pay the tax, to Kamsa. So he had to leave. Now let's see, we've just finished this chapter, and then we shall, when the story is related to Kamsa sending the Rakshasas, we will do some other time. Right? So here we are seeing that after Krishna is born, Nanda Gopal is going to pay taxes to Mathura. And then the small party, as he's going, they retire on the way for some time, and in the meantime, coming to know that Nanda Gopal is coming, what does his Vasudeva, his cousin and friend, he also wants to meet Nanda Gopal. So the two of them, they talk for a long time, and they talk about the evil deeds of Kamsa and his followers. Suddenly Vasudeva says that don't delay any longer. I am having an intuition, a premonition. Something bad is going to happen in Gokul. So please go back quickly and give Devaki and my regards to Rohini also and to Yashoda also. God bless them and their young ones. So without resting at Vasudeva's mansion, Nanda and his men, they returned the same night, they returned to Gokul. Now after this is Pudana Moksham, which we will do later. So since this meeting is going to get over, I think we'll start the new chapter in a new meeting. So with that, the birth of Krishna is over, children. I hope you have enjoyed today. There's a lot of activities. I think it's because holidays are going on for many of you in India. Yeah. So the birth of Krishna, children, like how Ritika has watched it. Where did you watch it, Ritika, the story?
YouTube.
YouTube. So, once you start enjoying these stories and the lessons given by Krishna and you think about them, you will want to listen more and more. So I would ask all of you to, whenever you get time or you have a break, instead of engaging in your normal pastime, sometimes come and choose to do your duty towards your soul, which is listening to stories of Krishna, reading the Bhagavatam, or even just sitting and meditating on Krishna's names by chanting, something like that, that there should be some effect in your life by which you will get more power over your mind. Now you will see in chapter 6, in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, Krishna will tell you how to have control over your mind. In chapter 5 also, there are some very beautiful learnings which I already taught, which I want to be revising a little bit till it is 11. We'll see how much of the Gita I can do. Okay, so I am stopping this meeting. 4 of you please join again once more, and we'll start the Gita classes, the Gita class after this. So with this, today we have completed at last the story of birth of Krishna. Okay, Hare Krishna, please join again, all of you, in once more in the same meeting. Okay, join again.